on the city council?
Well, we made decisions for the city, the taxpayers, like most other council do. They run the city pretty well. We had a city administrator too, but we oversaw what he did and made sure that everything got paid, and we didn't have a lot of problems. We had a lot of complaints, naturally. You're going to have a lot of complaints from citizens, and you try to get them resolved as much as you can. That's about all we did. It's a lot of work, a lot of time consumption.
What was one of your biggest accomplishments?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, getting this job.
Mine was getting on the city council.
What is your job?
I'm the human rights director for the city of Mason City. I'm the only African American official with the city government hired. When I say accomplishment, we came from no agency to enforcing civil rights in this area, and particularly Mason City, to one now that's well recognized. 40 and 50-mile distance. We attract people from Iowa Falls, Forest City, over to Charles City, and all the way up to the Minnesota border. So if someone has a question or problem concerning their civil rights, they called our office here.
How did you become the director of the Human Rights Commission?
Well, I created the job. As I was mentioning earlier, the city had a advisory committee, Human Rights Advisory Committee, and I turned that into an active commission. And then, obviously, I was the affirmative action officer working with the Human Rights Commission, the Advisory Commission, and then we rewrote the ordinance to where it had a director, which is, there's 22 agencies around Iowa like ours, except they're not all staff. And so then I was designated as the director of the Human Rights Commission.
And were there any problems now and then when you first started it?
Well, it was tougher when I first started than what I have it now. I had a person who ran for city council who ran on the platform of getting rid of me, not the commission, but getting rid of me. In the early days of trying to get the commission up and running, the government officials, the city council people, had a lot of flack from employers and from other folks around here because they weren't used to having someone enforcing civil rights in the area. So that was more traumatic to me than it was now, because right now we're well recognized and well established.
And 20 years down the road, what would you want people to remember about Lionel and Leonard Foster?
Good citizens, mainly here in Mason City. Mason City is a great town, a lot better than it was when we grew up here because of different changes.
Well, let me share a couple other things with you, and I'm not blowing my own whistle here, but right now I'm on I was assigned or appointed by the governor of Iowa to be on the Iowa Child Advocacy Board. I chaired that board for probably about 3 years. We have a program here in Mason City. They call it Court-Appointed Special Advocate Program. I was on the first group and we work with kids. Kids are kicked out of their, or not kicked out, taken out of their house by government intervention, and we had to track those kids to make sure that their welfare was okay. I'm also on the drug court here in Mason City. There's only 3 in the state of Iowa, and we work with drug addicts who've been arrested and incarcerated, and we try and get them back out into the society. So I've been pretty active in doing a lot of things. I don't necessarily think about what I want people to remember me about, because somebody's going to remember me for doing something. I can't control that. The only thing I want is my grandkids to remember me and try and follow the example, at least that I've set, and get a job and get out there and do something with yourself.
Why did the governor appoint you to do the job?
Well, because I was a CASA here, court-appointed special advocate in Mason City, and I had a lady that's on a Human Rights Commission asked me to, if I mind her put my name up to the governor to be on that board, and I turned it down the first time because I ran for the Iowa legislature and lost and got beat pretty good. And so the next time she asked me, I said, okay, go ahead and put my name up there, and she did, and the governor appointed me.
What is the most important thing to remember about this interview?
I don't know where this is going, but I understand what I read. It's going for others to hopefully get something out of, younger people to get something out of, that they can be the first and not the last in anything they endeavor to do. As you know, we have an African-American president, and I never thought I'd see that day. So it means that it's wide open for the younger people, younger African-Americans and minorities.
It was a pleasure interviewing you guys. It was nice to have you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.